Business sustainability increasingly refers to a company's ability to manage its triple bottom line. In other words, it refers to a company's ability to manage its financial performance as well as its social and environmental performance. It used to be the case that sustainability in and of its own referred to, for example, green strategies, but increasingly we perceive sustainability to mean the sustainability of a company's competitive advantage. So from a very strategic perspective, we're interested in understanding how social and environmental performance, or the integration of social and environmental issues into a company's business model and strategy, interacts hopefully in a synergistic and positive manner with a company's financial performance. Now, business sustainability in that sense refers to the outcomes of this process, the triple bottom line, but also has important implications about how managers, how executives run their businesses. Typically, we have focused on the economic context. We talk about competition, industry regulation, and all those kinds of things. But in order to understand how an organization can generate social and environmental performance, executives need to become increasingly aware how to manage within the broader social and environmental context, in addition to the financial and economic context that they're used to managing. And that's no easy task. The financial context and the economic context interact in different and complex ways with the social and environmental context. Think about, for example, recent regulations that mandate sustainability reporting. Think about upcoming regulations that will refer to carbon emissions and so on. Therefore, business sustainability increasingly refers to the sustainability of a company's competitive advantage. It's integral to what a company does in terms of its strategy, and in terms of its business model, in terms of its operations, and broadly speaking, in terms of its conduct with its shareholders as well as its non-shareholding stakeholders. Sustainability is becoming more relevant for organizations today for a number of reasons. First of all, we know that organizations are becoming larger. They have a larger economic impact, but at the same time, they have a larger socio-environmental footprint. In other words, they become more visible and their impact's more pronounced. That, as a result, the broader society, consumers, stakeholders, NGOs, governments are becoming more aware of those impacts. And as one can imagine, the negative impacts are even becoming more obvious to all the stakeholders. So as a reaction to the company's footprint, as a reaction to the company's size, as a reaction to the way that corporate operations have an impact on the socio-environmental context, these issues are becoming more center stage. At the same time, companies are realizing that these socio-environmental impacts are no longer considered as externalities, something that someone else will deal with, something that just the regulator of the government will deal with, but these are becoming true risks in the way a company runs its business, its operations, and its long-term planning. They're not only risks, though. Some of these issues entail profitable business opportunities. And there lies the distinction between companies that typically comply, let's say, with environmental or social regulations versus those companies that perceive those issues not just as risk management, but also as profitable opportunities that they could explore, that they could address, and in so doing, build a long-term competitive advantage. At the same time, there are macro trends that further highlight the need to account for sustainability. For example, in recent years, the world has witnessed a range of environmental disasters, a range of social disasters, even a range of ethical and corporate governance failings across corporations and indeed across industries. At the same time, issues such as climate change, extreme income inequality, poverty, and so on are becoming more prominent across countries around the world. They have created ruptures in the social fabric even in some countries, and we have seen again in recent years a number of demonstrations, opposition, populism, and so on. So if you put in this mega trends context the fact that companies themselves are realizing that their impacts and the value relevance of these social issues, then you have a quite broad set of factors of why sustainability now is becoming more important than ever before. Over the years, there has been a lot of work trying to find the link or understand the link between sustainability and financial performance. A number of studies have found either a positive or a negative or a U-shaped relationship and so on. However, in recent years, the availability of data as well as the more long-term horizon that we have had in order to see companies experiment with these issues and adopt sustainability policies and so on allows us to go deeper and understand better that link. So the consensus, I would say, in the academic literature to date is that there is a positive causal link between sustainability and financial performance. In other words, the integration of environmental and social issues into strategy, the genuine integration though, not in the form of greenwashing, not in the form of paying lip service, but actually integrating these issues into the core of what a company does is causally linked to increased financial performance in the long term as well as in the short term.